Hello. Good good night. I guess I would say it's nighttime right now. My name is Patrick Howard Henksler. I'm the Alumni Relations Officer here at the Mu Beta chapter of Florida Atlantic University. And I am so excited today to be sharing this night with a person I hold in high regard, a person who has been such a support within my time here at the Mu Beta chapter of Kappa Psi. And there cannot be a distinction that I would give from my heart to this person without her knowing that she is instrumental in the fact of how she handles and how she influences Mu Beta every day in every way. And I'm just going to let her introduce herself.
That was very high regarded. My name is Jennifer Sydney Romagnoli. I am a spring 2016 initiate, and I'm really glad I get to be the first one. I'm very
Nice.
excited to share this with you.
Nice, nice. So let me just ask this first. What class are you part of?
I was part of Xi Best class. So the Xi class, we were initiated on April 11th, 2016 with, at that time, I think it was one of the bigger classes. There were six of us.
Nice. Okay. So can you just give me a time frame? Give me a time frame. So when did you start? When did you graduate?
Fall 2015 was my first semester in college, and then I graduated on the 4 year mark amazingly. What year are we in? 2020. So I graduated 2019, May.
Wow,
So
nice.
yeah, I made it happen.
That's far ahead of what I'm about to do.
I know I went, well, I think it's really cool when people are in college for longer because I think you get more of a time to fully learn where you're kind of like thrusted out of it and you're like, somehow I'm supposed to know all of this from 4 years, which is not
Not
doesn't make
true at
any
all.
sense.
Yeah.
Right. Where I feel like the people I've had in my life were like they graduated at 28, 26, like they have a better idea of like, yeah, this is the crap I want to do with my life and like I want to go for that. So I don't think there's any hate towards it.
Yeah, I'm in. Oh man, I have to count. I'm in year six, going into year seven of being in college. And let me tell you, the straight path forward isn't always the best path for you.
Right. But also doesn't it show how like perseverant you are? Cause like you've been doing it for 6 years. That means you like know you've had the chance. I know you used to tech high schools, you know exactly what you want to do. You want to know how you can change it. We're like really at 20 years old, do you know anything?
Nah, man. Nah. It's actually funny you say that. So, how my life has been, and it's still a mystery to everyone else on the podcast, which is fine. You'll learn more about me. um, what are you doing with your life now? What's going on with Jen right now?
So I work as a purchasing and inventory management position, and I like it. I work in the industry is gas turbines. So gas turbines are just giant engines that power like cities, schools. UF has a few giant engines there, so I get to work with that. And I actually got that job through my big, um, like years ago. So I broke at one of the brother retreats. So there was a lot of brothers there for this. I fell off of a pole, and I was a server at the time. So we went to do like a brotherhood activity and I fell off the pole and my big was like, "Hey, my mother-in-law's job is hiring people to just come in and count parts." And I was like, "Cool. I need money. I can't walk on my leg for 8 weeks." Um so ever since then, I did my internship there. They loved me. They've trained me up. I worked really hard for it. I will give myself full credit for it. And I have no reason to ever leave it as of right now. I love it. It's what I want to do.
You heard it here, folks. KK prepares you to work in gas turbine business. You heard it here first. This is the
it's
first.
actually it's actually really interesting because I haven't had the chance to do this, but they have like how like they have conventions for everything. So
Yeah,
this is no different. But I have met people on like the meetings ground pages who are in like similar companies or do similar things to me. So it's very small worldy.
so what's the name of your? Who's your big's name?
My big is Jaqueline, Christine Marie Tabone.
Oh, right, right, right. I mean, we've talked about this before this, but like, oh yeah, 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 I know her.
Yeah, my gal.
So going into actually what's happening with your life right now, how actually has KK Psi affected your decision making within your own life? And I guess I'm more asking along the lines of your workplace and how you've come to understand those kind of relationships are really important and how you work with that.
I think one of the things that KKSI helped and prepared me for within my job is like being flat out having to cooperate with people who maybe do not want to cooperate with you.
Mm,
That is a big one. Learning how to work with people who do not want to work with you or don't know how to work with you, I guess, is such a big tool. That is a big one. I think the other one is time management. In KKSI for the band banquet, I know you haven't gotten to see that yet, but the band banquet was a huge one where you had to get things in to COSO on time or you're not having it. It doesn't change. That's exactly how my job works. If I don't present these things to our customer or my boss, the opportunity leaves, and that's pretty much how that works. And I think that was probably the two biggest things I learned is time management and also learning how to work with people.
wow. Wow. Yeah. I can personally tell you right now that communication and just bare bottom communication of what's happening around you within the chapter, of course, but anywhere at all, it's so important.
Oh
You
yeah.
having those deadlines known, having those meetings when it's happening, and communicating your intentions of what you're actually doing. Oh my lord, it saves you. It saves you so much heartache later in life.
Well, I also think it makes it an easier thing for you to judge yourself against. Like if my boss is very clear on what they want, or in KKSI, if um, when I wasn't president, if the president at the time, her name was Tori, was very clear on what she expected out of her officers, and we weren't able to deliver, like those types of conversations, making sure we're on top of ourselves for it, like those are all so important that they just carry over. And it's I'm still friends with a lot of the brothers I was active with. And that's one of the things we talk about quite a bit is like, oh, yeah, I only know how to do this now because that's what we went through then.
Yeah. So keeping in line with that, how are your relationships still with brothers who have become alumni and also brothers who are obviously in the chapter? Because hey, how are you? I'm your friend.
um, I can you explain what type of answer you're looking for?
Oh, so sorry. So basically, that's how are your relationships now with your brothers after the fact? Because now you've been graduated for 2 years, almost
Yeah.
2 years. Yeah. How's that going?
So when they really say like friendships for life, they really mean it. I have a lot of friends from our chapter, from actives to alumni to other chapters who I'm still very close with. Some of my closer friends are from FIU and from FGCU, from uh, Georgia Tech. Like these are still people I talk to, not daily, I would say at this point, but like we talk, we check in, the normal friendship things. My main support system still comes from a lot of the brothers that I met in college, whether it be I talk to them once a year or I talk to them weekly. Anytime something major goes on to my life, I call the same three people who I've only met through college and KKSI, and I think it's unmatched the relationships I get to have, and I'm very excited because there's nothing that at this point our bond is so deep that there's nothing that would change that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. For me right now, going through it, because let's be honest, like it's November. We're in the thick of it in fall semester right
Oh
now.
yeah, you are.
Full swing, coronavirus, full swing in the thick of things. Music ed major. Like I'm in it, but honestly, if I didn't have my brothers there with me just to talk me through it, just be like, hey, this is how your life's going right now, and this is how our life's going right now, and having that connection, that relationship, and really just being like, hey, here's my heart. It sucks right now, but we're getting through it.
I think one
It's
of the things that are unfortunate about college and especially about seeing so many music majors is like everyone's constantly drowning. It's just, do you feel open enough to tell someone, hey, I'm not doing good in this class and I really need someone's support? And I do feel like being a brother and being around people who are music people understand a little bit more, especially for your case or like the actives I do talk to. Like I get to help each other, I guess. And I think that's really exciting to see.
Yeah, because I'm a different case. I feel like a little bit. I have some. I got age on me. You don't get this voice for nothing, right? I got gray hairs. I got a beard. Like, come on, man. No, like my perspective on it all, I don't want to say is almost the same way as you, but I feel like when we start understanding how we can support each other and how just being a ear for someone else
Oh yeah.
means the world, because it's like, listen, I'm listening, I hear you, I see you, and it lifts so much more off like your heart. Like, this is a very bloated question that I feel very passionate about, so let me lean in on this a little bit. um as brothers, we have to be there for each other, right? And
Hmm.
no matter what, we have to strive for the highest together, always. And I believe that's a part of it. That kind of relationship, that's what is that? I was about to say something. I'm glad I didn't. Um, it's a part of those kind of relationships we need to just hone in on and just be positive together no matter the odds. And I think that's what's happening with our chapter right now, which is actually very beautiful. I think it's growing, and we actually just we're having our next class being initiated tomorrow, which is it's wonderful. We're so
It was
happy.
exciting.
Oh my gosh. I have my first little. Oh my
That's
god.
what, five more people, six more people,
Six more people.
which is crazy because when you think about it, like in 2016, six people in my class was the biggest size, but like before you, there was a 10-person class.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's crazy. Six is almost starting to become the norm. I mean, your class was four, but
Yeah.
that's pretty small.
Um yeah. So
Did you
actually,
think? I think your question was, do our values relate to our friendship? Is that what you're trying to say?
yeah, I think, yeah, values, we can go that way. Yeah, definitely.
Well, is what did you mean?
It had to do in line with values and just how to treat people, and how
Yeah.
that kind of relationship is very essential to a music major and a non-music major, obviously. That that kind of relationship excels us. That kind of relationship brings the weight off of our shoulders a little bit more for us to be able to do more. Like, if we all
Yeah.
bear the same weight together, we can do anything.
Yeah, I think that's true. I also think being a band kid kind of teaches you that too, because when you're in high school, you have the common goals of if you were a competition band to work towards a competition. Or my high school wasn't a competition band, and we worked hard for our one FBA. I love non-competition band, love it. I never knew competition bands were a thing until I moved down here to go to college, and I'm so happy every single day that my band director did not do that with us. Anywho, I think having that type of background makes it easier. And then I think when you become a brother, you're kind of taught like, hey, these are your people to depend on. They value the same things you value. And I think that's really what makes a lasting friendship is like having that trust, having that, you value these criteria in a person that I do. And for me, that makes me feel closer because that automatically puts you at a place where it's like, you know what? I know I can trust you with my feelings.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't say it better myself. For for understanding that, I feel like has been paramount throughout all of this coronavirus business. All of it. So I actually wanted to get into some little fun things to learn about you. So
Okay.
we're gonna do a lightning round. All right, we're gonna go
Um,
favorite pizza.
Uh,
I'm a foodie.
do, oh my God, do I like pizza? I do like pizza. Okay, so recently, I think my favorite pizza is chicken bacon ranch from Cannoli Kitchen.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Favorite coffee, if you like coffee.
Every coffee, I love coffee, but my favorite flavor for sure right now is peppermint mocha.
Peppermint mocha. I like it
I
seasonal.
didn't like it previously, so I'm very surprised I like it now.
Not seasonal. Not seasonal. It's a new thing. It's a new thing. All right.
Yeah,
All
we're
right.
going steady.
All right. Now we got favorite soda. You like soda?
Seltzer water?
I'm okay with seltzer water. Yeah, like LaCroix. Yeah, definitely, definitely.
Oh, no, no, no. I
Oh,
like my seltzer water to taste like the fruit it's trying to be.
oh,
LaCroix tastes like you're tasting coconuts that have been near a person who at once saw a coconut. Like that's what it tastes like.
I'm flabbergasted. I'm thrown away. Oh my gosh. Uh, to be fair, LaCroix is my favorite seltzer water. So let's just back up a little bit. I'm
I'm
kidding. I'm
not
so kidding.
judging your seltzer water. I'm just saying, like, for me, I like to taste, the fruit.
All right. So now we got to get into favorite fruits. All right, favorite fruits.
My least favorite fruit for sure is kiwi. Found that out today. My favorite fruit is an apple.
Apples. Great game. We like it. We like it. Um, favorite vegetable.
Favorite vegetable, zucchini.
Everybody likes got a little zucchini, man.
It tastes like nothing. How can you hate it?
It's water. It's water. So for me, what was the first for pizza? I like buff chick right now. I'm a good buff chick guy.
Ooh, I don't
That's
know if I've ever had that.
buff chick pizza. Oh, put some ranch sauce on top. Ooh,
Ranch on
smacks.
pizza.
What was the second thing I said? Favorite coffee? I actually
Mhm.
just got this. This was a seasonal Starbucks. I'm showing it like to actually see it. Like, oh yeah, you guys can see what I'm showing. No,
As if I could see anything other than the festive cup.
yeah. So it's like a caramel brulee latte.
Oh, that's good.
It's really good. I tried it today, and I was just like, this is in my roster for every season until to the end of time, or like I'm done. But like we'll see. Yeah. So seltzer water, Lacroix, obviously. So now I want to get into this because this is near and dear to my heart.
Okay.
What was your favorite time or favorite moment you had in your time as a active in the Mu Beta chapter?
Okay. So I was inactive for like 3.5 years. I never did a conditional semester, so that's a lot of memories.
Mm.
Um,
You can give me a few.
I mean, having all of my children was a big moment for me. Uh, for sure, Cito's third degree, my big showed up and surprised me. That was an awesome moment. That was phenomenal.
Just a preface, no secrets, by the way. Just yeah.
Oh, I those are never my exciting moments. It's
Okay,
all the moments around that.
gotcha.
One time when I was active, we did a pass the gavel thing, where all of the brothers sat down and you passed the gavel. And I think I could be remembering incorrectly, but essentially the person who had the gavel, it was everyone else's moment. All of the brothers said something they liked about them if they wanted to. And that was a really big moment for me because having, I don't know, 10 people tell me something that they liked about me is overwhelming. I'm sure that's for everyone. It was a lot. It was a big moment for all of us, I think, as a chapter. We used to do brother letters, and my boy Joe Dandria, we became friends through that, and we're best friends now. So that was a big moment. It was just, it was a good time. It was a good 3.5 years. There's not one moment where I think back to it and I'm like, wow, I wouldn't want to do that again because it was fun the first time.
So you just name dropped a lot of people. So can you tell me about like one or two of them? Like,
I didn't even name drop the amount of people. I mean, Joe Dandria is like my close friend.
gotcha.
So he's a funny story. How we became friends is through brother letters. So you pulled a name out of the hat. Your job was to like write a letter to them, and it was someone else's job to write a letter to you, and then you reversed essentially. So I think I wrote a letter to Brandon Adams, and then he wrote a response, and Joe wrote his letter to me. And in his letter, I still have it. It says like two truths and a lie. And after I gave him back my letter, he was like, let's go out for coffee. And ever since then, we've been best friends. He's given me like a cute, for National Best Friend Day, he gave me like a cute little owl. That was precious. We used to do these things where it said, I'm happy to be X's brother. Um, where you would pass that around the room as a little index card and people would write like, oh, I'm happy to know you. We tried to do a lot of like brotherhood feely stuff, and I think it helped everyone. Um, One of the most influential people in my time. I was president my last 2 years, and every VPM I had was very influential to me in my life. Whether it be like Jared Heron, Marissa Linay, Zachary Zafuda, all of them were just people who meant a lot to me.
I went to high school with Zachary Zafuda. That's crazy, man.
He's a great guy. I would recommend 10 out of 10.
Texas, Texas.
That's it. Texas and country music. That's him.
So we used to call him okay, little story time here. So in high school, he moved in. Basically, it was my junior senior year, or our junior senior year. We're the same age, and basically it's like, oh hey, where are you from? Texas. And then automatically, like, one of the secretaries basically said, all right, your name's Texas now. Never left, never left. And if you're listening to this, Texas, I'm sorry. So going off of that, what do you want to see the chapter? I guess what I'm saying is, what are you feeling from the chapter right now going forward that has made you so excited? I asked the hard questions here, I know.
I feel like I wasn't like, I don't know why I didn't think about that answer. I'm very one to be prepared, but what am I excited about?
I'm gonna say mine first, and then you can say yours. That's all cool. I'm cool with
Oh,
that.
I'm good for that.
All right, great. um, I'm excited for the convictions we're having right now, even through coronavirus times. Yes, there isn't much service things we can do, but at the end of the day, as long as we have each other and keep a positive outlook and hope for the future of what good things are going to happen, and I know they will, I can already see more just activity and just camaraderie and culture we build as a chapter have happen within the band programs. And it's very what's the word I'm looking for? It bleeds into it. What we do does bleed into the band programs, and the band programs bleed into what we do. So when we have that kind of positive relationship, and I think that's what we need as our basically is what's happening right now, since we haven't had much culture, since basically our culture has stopped essentially because
Yeah.
there's no social interactions. There's nothing happening like that other than, hey, I'm looking at you through a screen, you know. So I'm
Yeah,
excited. I'm excited for that.
I think that's a really good answer. I think that's one of the things I've noticed the most is that a lot of the things that would be second nature in person, you're having to learn how to do online. I think the thing that from an outside perspective, and I mean, I'm sure I have a closer perspective than other alumni you might interview, because I am so close to so many of the brothers who are still active. Uh, I think the thing that I'm most excited about is all the changes I get to hear about. So like things that people didn't do at my time, which is great. You guys are doing it now. So like this podcasting, I think is a great idea. I know Malik named the class. I gave the class a name, which I think is awesome. I don't know why we didn't do that before, or if other people did that before me. I just don't know why we didn't carry it on. Um, I know Julian wanted to do like a movie night to fundraise. I think that's cool. I think I know I've heard about some of the like brotherhood bonding things you guys are doing, like playing Among Us together, and I think that's all really exciting. I think watching you guys adapt in a way that is so revolutionary for when you guys go back in person, I think is astounding.
The bonds I think that are being made right now are going to be very thick. I
Oh
think
yeah.
that is what I'm taking away from all of this. Um, yeah, I'm ecstatic right now. Like, yeah, no words, no words. Emotional connection. That's where I'm getting at, man.
And it's
Truly.
hard right now too because everyone's online. Like you don't feel as close to people as you would in person. Like I know for degrees specifically in person, it's everyone hugging each other. And like you're the class that just went through, and I know your class especially, you guys didn't get to experience that, but you guys are experiencing it in your own special way online, which is very exciting because it's hard to feel close to people when it's just screens. Like, yeah, I can give my screen a hug, but it ain't very warm.
Our perspective has become very situational because we were required. We stood up to the task at hand of what was happening around us, and I think that's what really mattered. You know,
Mhm.
as inspirational, and like Malik is my brother. Like I trust him. Julian is my brother. I trust him. I trust everyone. Don't get me wrong. Julian is my brother. I trust him. Cameron is my brother. I trust him. It's all of these kinds of just situational things that in the moment, that's when true friendships are created in the hardest of
Yeah.
times. Because this is a hard time for the world. I mean, let's not speak light about it. 250,000 people are no longer living in America, and that's the hardest part, the disconnect, because there is a big disconnect of how people are gone off the face of the earth. But
I think
we,
it puts it into perspective too.
yeah,
You know, like um, one of the active brothers, I'm not going to say who it was, got coronavirus. And that's terrifying because he had a very mild case. But
mm,
it's also like, what if he didn't?
right,
And it's those connections that make it important.
yeah. So I am actually. This is going to be one of my last questions for you.
Wow.
It's it's a question that I've had. It took me a long time to ponder on because at the end of the day, this isn't this isn't about me. Isn't about any of us. This is about what we can do just in our own little bubbles to help further the idea of band, for the idea of
Okay.
service, for the idea of leadership. But when we're talking about what can I do to further the idea of the Mu Beta chapter of KK Psi or KK Psi in general, what do you think the position of ARO needs to do now? What do you think is required of me to do now to make this even better? Or just any position, really.
I think if you take in consideration of the coronavirus part of it, I think one of the things that would be really cool to see is to see, I guess programs would be the person heading this up, but see more community outreach. Like when you think about it, our school and our department hasn't really had that many problems other than like moving their classes online, of course. But like it sucks, but it's happening and it's doable. Where like a lot of the schools around here aren't doing nearly as well. And seeing how, I guess, yes, our main purpose as KKSI is to support the band, but it's also we want to be a part of the community. So seeing how we can be more involved with helping support like the brothers who are band directors in this area, and seeing how if they need excerpts recorded, that's something the chapter could do. That would be really cool to see. I know Richard Pawali just moved to a new school here in Boca, and I'm sure he could probably need support. And it could be virtual support. Seeing how we could help him would be a really cool thing to do. I think that would be a really cool place to go. I think with ARO, I think the podcast is a really good step. I think getting more information out timely is a really big thing. Not that I think that's particularly your fault. There's a lot of things at hand there, but or whenever there is information, it's full information is important as well. And I think those are the big things to really focus on because who knows what's going to happen in spring.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, man. Yeah. No, I think everything you said it's so relevant. That's why I ask, because it's your perspectives of what you've gone through, and I want honest, true feedback of what you guys want from us. Because as alumni, you deserve to be with us and just having an input on just how we progress forward. Because I am here because of you. I am here because of past classes. I am here because of the work that has been going on since what 2007. Could be wrong.
It's 2007.
Hey, I'm not wrong. Look at that.
Were you guys never taught the weird thing where it's like the founder's date is 69007?
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
No, I think that's the way to think about it. I think one of the things I did best when I was active was I always reached out to people who are older than I, because I don't believe in making the same mistakes twice. I just don't want to.
Hmm.
And like getting to know the founders, the Grumettes, the Wileys, getting to know all of their perspectives, and building that connection was unmatched, to be honest. Danny Case was a great resource for me. The brothers who came before me, who went through the stuff that I didn't see, were a great resource. Dylan Sanchez was a great resource for me. Hearing what they wanted out of this chapter, because that's ultimately like your job. is your job is to support the band, but if you guys aren't supporting each other and what you guys want to see out of this chapter, it's hard to support anyone else. It's like that cliche phrase where it's like, how can you love someone else if you can't love yourself? It's like that. But a mass group of people.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm in shock that we're even doing this right now. It's absolutely beautiful to me. This is wonderful. I
I
have
think
to
it's
say,
exciting.
yeah. Like Jen, I have to say thank you so much for doing this interview with moi. You have been a light in my life. You have been so refreshing. And I truly think that we're gonna go places. This is going places, man. Don't stop. Don't stop. We ain't gonna stop.
I
All
feel like
right.
there's like 12 song references you can make in reference to
Oh,
that.
I could, but I don't want to be copyrighted. So there you go. Ha ha. But again, thank you so much, Jen. We appreciate you, and I hope you have a great day.
You too.